The first-person shooter genre is arguably the most popular amongst gamers in the world over. As a result, FPS titles are seen as the most commercially viable gaming genre for developers, with a raft of mainstream shooters having grown into household names. It's tough to stand out from the crowd when there's so many mainstream titles. So, here are 15 more FPS games which deserve your attention. Ravenfield. Coming in like a low-poly Battlefield 1942 is Ravenfield, an FPS game clearly taking inspiration from that massive team versus team war battler. What it lacks in visual fidelity it makes up for in entertaining firefights, punctuated by pounding machine gun sound design and superbly animated ragdoll physics, the latter of which sprinkle an air of silliness over this otherwise tactical shooter. There's a raft of ways to kill your enemies, from taking to the field as infantry or engaging in combat via land, air and water vehicles. The game's been in early access for a few years now, but the single-person developer Steel Raven 7 is regularly adding content. Plus, Ravenfield has an active modding community who are designing maps, weapons and vehicles. Necromunda Hired Gun. Fast-paced, violent and thrilling are just some of the ways that developer Strumon Studio describe Necromunda Hired Gun. It's up to you as merciless hired gun to eliminate the most notorious gangsters and hoodlums lurking within the city's dark reaches. Hired Gun is laced with humour, as not only are you equipped with a formidable arsenal with which to clean the streets, but you'll do it together with your cyber mastiff dog sidekick, who'll sniff out foes for you to eliminate. Bright Memory Infinite. Combining first-person shooter mechanics with fast-paced action comes this high-octane adventure from FYQD Studio. Bright Memory Infinite is a sequel grander and more accomplished than the original, with a wide variety of weapons and playstyles possible as you voyage through various regions of a near-future world, investigating the origin of a mysterious airborne phenomenon. The swordplay in Bright Memory Infinite looks especially fun, with the ability to repel bullets an option for those times your highly customizable firepower runs out of ammo. PlanetSide 2. Free-to-play planetary war battler PlanetSide 2 was an audacious bar raiser when it first released in 2012. Battles take place across entire continents, with room enough for thousands of players to fight as infantry via ground and air vehicles, across deserts, plains, coastal cliffsides, inside bases and even underwater. There's a raft of customizations available for your soldier by way of an in-depth skill tree too, meaning that you can match your skills to your team's demands, ensuring you're a vital cog in the war machine and not just a spare wheel. Killing Floor. This 6-person co-op shooter set within a zombie-ravaged England came out in 2009, so whilst its gloomy art style hasn't aged terribly well, Killing Floor's deft balance of tactics and teamwork has kept squads desperately working together to survive long enough in its devastated cities and countryside. There's a veritable smorgasbord of weaponry on offer here, ranging from knives, chainsaws and fire axes, to rocket launchers, shotguns and flamethrowers. And there are other less conventional tools that you can take with you too. For instance, one of your team can come equipped with a welder, for when the hordes of bloodthirsty zombies become overwhelming, you can flee indoors, welding the door shut behind you. The Chronicles of Riddick: Escape from Butcher Bay. Escape from Butcher Bay is a prequel to Vin Diesel's movie Pitch Black, with the eponymous Riddick attempting to escape the brutal maximum security prison Butcher Bay via a blend of stealth and FPS action. Just like the movies with Riddick as a central protagonist, Escape from Butcher Bay is something of a sleeper hit, garnering cult status in the years since its release. It was well received at the time too, with critics comparing it to Half-Life 2 and Splinter Cell thanks to its satisfying shooting mechanics, exhilarating hand-to-hand combat, and superb voice acting starring none other than Mr. Diesel himself. Quake III Arena. Quake's third installment strayed from the single-player focus of the previous two titles, transforming the fast, addictive deathmatch style into frantic multiplayer matches. Blasting your opponents into gooey mulch never gets old, and within the confines of Quake III Arena's tightly designed levels, you're never too far away from the action. Traversal was a blast too, with strafe and rocket jumping abilities supported by breathtaking acceleration and bounce pads littered throughout the confusion. Borderlands, the pre-sequel. Handsome Jack of Borderlands 2 fame is one of the most favoured villains in FPS gaming, so it was only a matter of time before he got his own spin-off. The pre-sequel takes place between Borderlands 1 and 2, in a story that charts the rise of the iconic villain with a whole lot of shooting across the low-gravity terrain of the moon. New characters, plus new ice and laser weapon categories, means that there's enough new stuff here to keep Borderlands fans engaged. A quick look at sales figures for the pre-sequel though, and strangely it seems that less than a fifth of Borderlands 2 players have taken the plunge with Handsome Jack's origin story spin-off. Churrock. Showing my age here, but when Churrock was first released in 1997, it felt so fresh. You take charge of time-traveling warrior Churrock as he ventures into a hostile land being torn apart at the seams by evil overlord the Campaigner. Heady themes tugging at the fabric of time take a back seat though, for the action largely takes place in humid jungles, in which you'll pit your ferocious arsenal of conventional shotguns and rocket launchers and otherworldly alien plasma rifles against all manner of bionically engineered dinosaurs. Think Triceratops packing heavy artillery or laser-guided T-Rexes. Hell Let Loose. It is admittedly hard for World War II-themed shooters to stand out from the crowd of FPS titles, set within the battles of the Western Front. Frankly, it's been done to death. However, Hell Let Loose's complex blend of satisfying shooting with real-time strategic planning lends itself to an experience that rewards teamwork, communication, and leadership. Furthermore, the dynamically shifting front line marking the edges of the battlefield for up to 100 players adds an air of chaos, requiring steely determination to command the tide of battle in your favour. Post-Void. If you're photosensitive, then you'd best skip this one, for speeding through garish corridors is the name of the game in Post-Void, a rather unique run-and-gun from small-time developer YCJY Games. With every pop of bullet fire like a camera flash in your face, it's clear that Post-Void's developers are going for an experience that's overwhelmingly dizzying. The action itself is arcade-style, and true to form, blasting through Post-Void's sickly liminal spaces and racking up high scores is the key to surviving the challenge. If you missed this game when first released, you'll be relieved to know that it's coming to consoles this spring. Boomerang X. You'll find wonderfully tight combat at the heart of Boomerang X that's intriguingly built around your boomerang weapon. Once you've thrown the boomerang, you can slingshot to it, allowing momentum through the air, opening numerous avenues with which to traverse and evade or attack foes. And with hordes of creepy-crawly enemies coming at you from all angles, you need to master all uses of this boomerang to survive. Boomerang X is definitely one of the more unique offerings on this rundown, and well worth a go if you're tired of shooting guns all the time. Void Bastards. This oddly satisfying scavenger shooter flew under the radar when it was first released in 2019. Its hand-drawn art style is immediately reminiscent of Borderlands, but Void Bastards does things a little differently to that wildly popular looter shooter. For starters, Void Bastards is roguelike, with gameplay seeing you lead your ragtag group of bastards from ghost ship to ghost ship in search of food, fuel and supplies with which to craft stronger, more outlandish weapons, like the Robo-Kitty. GTFO. Taking place within the claustrophobic confines of a subterranean prison is GTFO, a suspenseful cooperative horror shooter that requires patient stealth and a cool head when things go awry. Your team of 4 is tasked with exploring a perilous network of tunnels to complete a list of expeditions, while staying quiet enough to avoid awakening the hordes of gruesome creatures who'll rip you limb from limb if they're disturbed. Tactics play a big part in GTFO. You and your band of prisoners need to plan ahead, not to balance your loadouts, but to decide between you what you'll do when things go wrong. Heavy bullets. Highly stylized Heavy Bullets is a maze-like dungeon crawler FPS, which tasks you with carefully navigating through neon corridors to reset a security mainframe, all whilst protecting yourself from aggressive creatures and malfunctioning security vices with your trusty 6-shot revolver. But here's the thing, you attempt each run with 6 bullets, and 6 bullets only. You'll need to be patient, as rushing through the game's untamed environments will see you blast away your ammo with no chance to pick up and reload. Play smart through the game's trippy atmosphere, and you'll have a blast. So what are your thoughts on this? Go ahead and share them in the comments below. And if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and enable all notifications by clicking the bell icon to get new video updates. We upload every day and would really appreciate your support. Thanks for watching.